Hey everyone, we're going to bring you another update on the V4 Superbike project. This is this part of it, at least, is going to be a relatively small one, and I'm not really sure what all is going to be in this video, so this might be a pretty small update. But I do want to show you some of the stuff that we're resolving. First and foremost is we did get our new coolant tube from our friends at H2O. This is going to be a better solution, and we don't have to worry about any kind of contact with our damper end eye here. So this new piece, as you can see, it has basically a similar profile to the old one, but a little bit more of a bend to clear this this frame spar here, and it's just a little flatter. So essentially it just allows us to put this behind the frame. You may recall before it was like right here. That's really all this is. Pretty straightforward. We just pulled the old one out and kind of just stuck the new one in there. It's got some heat shielding on it that you can see here to kind of protect the coolant temps from those engine temperatures, but otherwise very similar piece. They also sent us a different bracket to support the oil cooler. And I'm not sure if we're going to use this yet. We already have a bracket in place. This would eliminate that other one, and it mounts on top of the oil filter cover and would go like right here. You know, again, I'm not sure if we're going to do this just because it looks like it might make maintenance a little more time consuming, and I'm not sure that it's going to be critical, but it's something that we're going to look at it at the very least. They sent it for a reason. We really like those guys over there, so there's probably a good reason they sent that to us. And then lastly, we have gotten a new oil line. Let's see, that is over here. There we go. That's a new oil line. The reason for that is you've probably noticed that we have a very small amount of contact. Actually, you can see that has rubbed into our header a bit right here. So we need to clear that up, and this ought to help us do that. So that's going to be the goal there. We want to correct that, obviously. You don't want contact. For one, it's going to heat up the oil. And two, we don't want to see this kind of wear on our exhaust system. So that's something we're going to have to resolve. And hopefully this is going to work. It's just about 20 millimeters longer, so we'll see. All right, so Tex is wrapping up this quick part swap on the H2O radiator set. And you can really see, it's kind of fascinating how much wear we got on that cylinder one collector from this old oil line. But we've got the new one in place, and it looks like we're going to be okay. It's still pretty snug, but it's there's enough clearance with a single sheet. I think it goes right in. Let's give that a shot. Yeah. So not the most clearance, but before it was pretty hard up against it, so this should be just fine. We may order one that's a few millimeters longer just to see if that helps, but this is gonna work fine for now. Okay, so we've got some more stuff we're gonna do to the project here. And first, I want to apologize for this bacon-necked Gandini shirt, and I want to assure you that Gandini makes excellent sprockets, much nicer than the t-shirts. I used to really like this shirt when we washed it, and the neck has gone nuts. Anyway, what we're gonna do next is, you guys have seen the setup that we have on the rear master, and we're using this IMA billet. Really what that is a thumb brake master cylinder. It's designed to work under pressure from a handbrake or a thumb brake. And while we're still considering running a handbrake right now, that's not something that we're gonna do. And so what we're at least gonna mock up and see how a proper fully integrated reservoir rear master cylinder is going to look on here. That way we can get rid of this guy. You know, nobody really likes that. I'm not a huge fan of it just because it's a long piece of exposed tubing and right where your feet are, and it's next to the exhaust and stuff. So it's not a bad solution, but we're going to be able to do something a lot nicer if we can mount this other master. We've measured our spacing, and it's where it needs to be, and we've confirmed that this plunger push rod deal that comes with the Evol Technology rear sets works fine with it. So we'll show you that. And then of course we want to test out our modified upper shock mount. So first, here's the Suter master cylinder. As you can see, it's a pretty nice little piece. It's very small and lightweight, has an integrated reservoir, so that's going to resolve that issue. And we did confirm with them, this thing can basically be mounted fully vertically as long as it is filled and bled in this position or something close to it. So yeah, this will work fine as long as we don't have any kind of clearance or compatibility issues there. And then of course we got to see how this works with our now, you know, pretty heavily modified upper shock mount. And this unit is actually, originally these are slightly heavier than stock. I mean, we're talking pretty marginal, but this is considerably, I think it's almost a full ounce lighter than an original because of how much material's been moved. So it should be quite a bit lighter than stock while providing a nice enhanced aesthetic and, you know, potentially some kind of improved rigidity. So we'll see how all that goes. We're just going to pop this off, and we just have to look because it is such a different piece. What we're going to confirm is basically how much work's going to be involved to get this to work. There's probably going to be some clearance.
Already cleared it to do.
Oh yeah, for the other one.
Looks like it's going to work though.
Oh good. Does it touch?
No, it's touching.
Okay, so I might have to bump it off just a little. So what we'll do is we'll space that off just a touch to get it off of the cap. That's where it's got contact, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's quite a bit.
Yeah, if it was straight right there, it'd be perfect.
Yep.
All right.
Let's just hang out there. Yeah, and it's probably going to help us resolve some of our issues with the sensor. That's Tex just mentioned that we've had some weird readings every now and then from the rear pressure sensor, and it's likely due to being so close to the exhaust. You know, this thing is really not meant to get that hot, and so this might help clear some of that up. Okay, so what we're about to do is show you, we've had to make some adjustments. We're mocking this up with the shock off the bike now, and what we're going to show you is essentially, you see in here there was some contact with the pot touching the inner body of this mount. So that's what we're working on clearing up now. Here's a quick shot just to show you the tool path that we have in here. And as you can see, that's just quite a bit different from the way it originally looked. All of this area in here, and obviously this little slot down here, is brand new. Fortunately, our next door neighbor is a good friend, and we can rely on him for any machine services that we can't complete here at the shop, and we just run right over. It's literally one door over, and we can get this kind of stuff done in a hurry. All right, so what Tex is doing now is basically getting the swing arm and everything back into place now that we've got the new shock mount in place on the bike, and we have tested and confirmed that the pot now fits perfectly. You can see hopefully in there that we don't have any clearance, and we definitely took away a little more than we needed to on this piece, but it's you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It looks pretty nice, and the weight of the unit's going to be even a little bit further. We probably knocked another couple of grams off the thing, so all is clear. And now we're just going to finish wrapping up the swing arm installation, and then we're going to test fit this this rear master. All right, so Tex has this Suitor Master, and what we've realized is that this is more or less probably designed to mount behind a piece like this. And what we mean by that is both of these objects are threaded here. So what we're going to have to do is essentially just remove these threads, and Tex is going to drill that out to a touch over 6 mils, and then we can just use this exactly the way we were using our other version. Okay, so here's what we have to work with, and this is probably what we're going to see installed. It doesn't look like we're really going to be able to cleanly integrate the heel guard into this, just because there's between the offset from here to here and then factoring in this reservoir cap, there's quite a bit of a jump there. So at the very least, we would have to get a custom heel guard made, and it really protrudes so much that it may be less effective than simply not having one. So for now, we're just going to try this with no heel guard and see what it looks like and feels like. And if nothing else, we may see if Steve will make something for us. But this is what we're going to try first. We actually took our original heel guard and put it on our press and actually flattened it out a bit, and even tried shimming this up about 8 mils, and it was still just too much. It still didn't clear this. So now we're going to go ahead and mount this up and start trying to put sensors in place. It looks like it's going to work pretty well. You may also see that we removed this boot. That Tex pulled that off because the spring was essentially just going to destroy that. So what he's done is he's used one of these spacers that we have in here that's going to sort of work as a guide for the shaft and also protect that seal from the spring. So that's probably how we're going to roll with this. Okay, so we're getting ready to wrap this up. We want to show you a few things. First, we've wrapped up this install of the rear master. Tex has done a really nice job of tidying all this up, and he's kind of cleaned everything up here, so I think it looks a lot cleaner and tidy, and so that's all done. We also have kind of rerouted some stuff and changed everything here. Tex went ahead and used that as an opportunity just to make sure that everything was basically, once again, as tidy as it possibly could be. We also added some protection here because this is near the tire. We wanted to make sure that our speed sensor and our brake line aren't potentially impacted by an object. Realistically, this isn't going to offer a massive amount of protection, but it gives us more than just having that stuff exposed. And so moving on, the next thing that we're going to do, we've already got these installed in the rear. We're gonna complete installing these engine mount bolts and tie, and we'll show you the weight savings of these. So I'm going to grab the scale on the original bolts and we can compare. Okay, so here we have a stock bolt, and we're going to see how much that weighs. 53 grams. All right. Here are one of these tie units. 26 grams. So doing all four of these will save just over 100 grams. 108. So that's a pretty substantial savings, almost a quarter of a pound. And once we complete that, what we're going to do is actually do a full weigh-in, because we don't know how much this bike weighs now. So that's going to be kind of the next step and what we'll close the video out with. But first, we're going to go ahead and pull these out and do the swap. And I think we're going to be able to have these bolts for sale on the website, so keep an eye out for that. Not wanting to go in? You know, threads looked a little bit dirty on that one. I did notice when I pulled it out. We might need to. Okay, so we pulled that out and cleaned it up and put a little bit of that grease. What is that grease?
It's lithium disulfide grease. Assembly lube, basically.
Okay. That's what the manual calls for.
Also known as Ducati Grease B. Newts.
Perfect. Nice. Aside from the weight loss, that just is a much nicer looking bolt for sure. Cool. So we're going to knock out the other side, and then we'll get this thing buttoned back up and see what it weighs in Superbike trim. Okay, so we're going to weigh this in, and this is the first time that we're going to weigh this bike in Superbike trim with the harness and all the other goodies on there, so it'll be interesting to see where we're at. Oh,
Yep, I knew that was going to happen.
moved. Want me to come over there and help you?
If you don't mind.
Okay.
Put your foot in front of that.
We on?
Yep.
All right. Got it, Tex? All right. Get it good and centered where you're just barely holding it. Okay. And it looks like we are the highest I've seen is 377. Is that pretty centered? You're barely touching it?
Not really centered on the pack.
Oh, well, I'm talking about left or right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up and down.
Main thing is, like, you're not pushing on it because the weight will go up. All right, looks like we're 375. 375 to 376. We'll say 376 to play it safe. Nice. So 376. So that means we're 5 pounds over the Moto America Superbike minimum, which is good. And we've got, I think that's got a full tank of fuel in it, doesn't it? Or close to it?
Actually, it's fairly empty.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, never mind. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this one. We've got some more upgrades coming soon. So thanks again for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to see anything, be sure to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.